Anyway, so mine's number 12, Attack of the Clones, which we just spoke about. Number 11, Last Jedi. Everybody knows my feelings about it. I thought it was disrespectful to what had gone before. It didn't understand the material. Ryan Johnson didn't understand the material. He threw away all the stuff that JJ set up in Force Awakens, and whether he thought that was him doing some sort of twist or what, it just didn't work and left him. The plot was backed into a corner for the next movie, and it just really didn't work for me. And the way Luke Skywalker was treated, and it didn't give you a good reason for why he would not go and help his sister in this fight. It just didn't give a good reason.
I think
the
Last Jedi feels like a really bad Whose Line Is It Anyway? You know, where Ryan Stiles is winning and you want to screw him over. So you come up with this crazy situation and there's no way he can get out of it. And somehow he manages to do it. Not that I'm saying that J.J. Abrams is Ryan Stiles and can get out of anything, because I've seen Rise of Skywalker.
I wish that Luke had made it into Rise of Skywalker as well, because I think that would have been, why did he project himself? Why didn't he just do the things that Rise of Skywalker did in that movie, where he raised the X-Wing and stuff like that? I think they would have had that in the second movie, and Luke would have went with Rey. I don't know.
Do you know what's going to happen in the future is people are going to mix up The Last Jedi and COVID-19 and say the reason why Luke didn't do that is because he was under self-isolation and he couldn't go there, so he basically Jedi zoomed in and then did the fight that way.
Yeah. Kind of. Maybe.
I forgot about COVID-19 till you said that, Sloan.
Sorry.
So I'm having so much fun.
That's all right. I know. It's fine though.
More fun than a pandemic. There you go. There's the subtitle for this podcast.
More fun than a pandemic. That is the title for this episode. Number 10 is Phantom Menace. I watched the re-edit of Phantom Menace without all the kind of Jar Jar stuff, and it's actually pretty good. It's not as bad as I remembered it, but watching the original edit with Jar Jar and with all the other stuff in it.
Jody, can I ask you a question about the Phantom Menace?
Yeah.
There was a while ago, they re-released the Phantom Menace on 3D, so you could go to the cinema to watch the Phantom Menace in 3D. So
yeah, that's right. They were going to do it with all the prequels.
Aye, they were going to do it with them all, but they just done it with Phantom Menace, and it ended up being like a total disaster. But Sloan, we know a guy in Troon called Mark Trainer, and I went to see the Phantom Menace 3D with Mark Trainer and his kids. And Mark hates Star Wars, hates anything science fiction, but went to see it for his boys. But he hated it because the 3D was rubbish.
Oh yeah.
And the film, I mean, if you're not into Star Wars, it's rubbish.
Oh.
It's bad.
And I just watched him watching that, and that was so enjoyable.
I bet you.
It was.
That must have been some rant.
It was. It was a big rant. He ranted for a while.
There's so much wrong with Phantom Menace, the original cut, that's not funny. But it does have Darth Maul in it, who is probably one of the best baddies.
Aye, he is.
Any Star Wars movie.
I mean, you talk about underused characters. Darth Maul, for me, is
God, aye. I thought he was going to be the big bad all the way through the whole thing.
No.
Well,
so did I. Yeah.
Spoilers. Okay, number 9, Revenge of the Sith. They kind of were trying to pull it back at this moment, but for me it was a bit too late. They tried to cram in so much, and basically Anakin turns to the dark side in the last 30 minutes or something.
That's because he started
panicking. It should have been. For me, it should have been a progression from the very first movie to that one. Not in the last 35 minutes. Boy's a bad guy, and he's killing kids and stuff. Just
younglings.
Younglings, aye.
What shall we do now, Master Skywalker? That is my favourite bit in any Star Wars movie. I know it's not. It's a controversial movie, but I love that bit. What are we going to do now, Master Skywalker?
Master Skywalker. Yeah.
That is a nasty
right back
scene.
here. So good.
Probably one of
And
my favourite scenes in
the
that
best
film.
bit though is the kid takes
Actually-
this like half step back as well. He goes,
Yeah, I
Hold on
know.
a second, Sloan. I'm just going to adjust my order here. Hold on a second.
Too late.
oh, no, it doesn't work like that.
Anyway, right, okay. So then I've got number 8, Solo. I love Solo. I love the characters and everything
Aye.
about it.
Yeah.
It turned out much better than I thought it was going to. People are petitioning for a second movie, which could happen, you know.
I'd like it to happen. I
Um,
think we should get a trilogy out of it.
I think he was
Aye.
good as Solo. He's not Harrison Ford, obviously, but
Well, no one is.
He's not far off it.
he's got the swagger. He's got the charm.
At least he can fly a plane.
What's his name again? Alden.
Armitage Shanks, I think we called him the last time.
Armitage Shanks.
Because we couldn't remember his name. I'll tell you
Alden
something,
something.
Aldo Emerson or whatever your name is. You need to get a new handle.
Aldo Emerson. And
Aiden-
Donald Glover nails it
Aiden
as
Christensen.
Lando as
Aye.
well.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. And Chewie, the new Chewie guy is great. You know,
I like him, actually.
He's really nailed it as well. You
I
know?
just wish I could pronounce his name.
He's another one that's got a mental name. Big
I know he's from. I seem to have a big problem with these Scandinavian
Norwegians,
names.
Scandinavian.
yeah.
I know. So then I've got Rise of Skywalker's number 7. I really enjoyed that movie, and I thought for the fact that JJ had his beginning chapter ruined by Last Jedi and backed into a corner, where the story went nowhere. We learned nothing about any of the characters. The middle section with Canto Bight was so pointless. It was crushing. So what he came out with Rise of Skywalker, I thought, and he brought Palpatine back. You could say it was a cheap trick, but I think it worked.
So the big thing, so you mentioned earlier on about one of the things you don't like is about Revenge of the Sith is in the last 30 minutes he turns to the dark side and becomes Darth Vader. That's the entire Rise of Skywalker movie for me. It's just this headlong rush to get to the end.
But do you not think it wouldn't happen that way? I've said this a million times, but if JJ had the thread all the way through, then it wouldn't happen that way.
I think you could have taken your time with it.
Last
I think
Jedi took a total detour off the beaten track. You know, it could have been so much simpler.
I think you didn't have to go and do this trip around the galaxy to pick up clues like you're in the Goonies. I think you could have done it a bit better than that. I don't think it's. Anyway,
I liked it. I liked the adventure of it.
I'll explain why.
I liked it. Okay. Next, I've got Return of the Jedi.
What number is that?
Number 6.
Right.
Yeah.
Another big favourite of mine. Like you say, James, all the set pieces in that are totally perfect. Sarlacc pit, Jabba at the beginning, brilliant. I love it. The Ewoks and all that, fantastic.
Remember the Leia reveal when she's actually the bounty hunter? Oh, that's amazing.
Yes. Yes, it was.
It was so good.
I know.
I mean, I watched that with if my nieces or nephews, obviously they can't do it now, but if they're watching it with us for the first time, that alone, because they know who Princess Leia is. Mm-hmm. But when there's just like, oh, who's that? Who's that guy? I'm just thinking in my head, I've got you now, because that's Princess Leia. Especially if it's like one of my nieces. And they're just like, I can't believe it.
I mean, as a trilogy, it's flawless, really. It's hard to see when you get to those original ones, and they've certainly Disney have certainly put a few curveballs in now because of the, Rogue One and things like that. Went, oh God, that is bloody good. But Return of the Jedi is just a great movie. Even like you say, even if you take that out of context, you'll get less from it if you haven't watched the other two, but you'll still enjoy it as a romp. Mm-hmm. It's the same as the Avengers movies. If you don't watch all 22 movies, right, you watch some of them, you'll get more of them. You'll get more from those movies if you watch all of the characters and arcs and all that.
I was just laughing because it's 22 movies in 10 years, and there's 9 movies in 42 years.
Yeah, no, easy crazy. Anyway, then I've got 5 is Mandalorian, which I love as well. These are, I mean, I love Star Wars. There's no hate here. Mandalorian, we've spoken about it a million times on this podcast. We all love it. It's perfect. The showrunners are brilliant on it.
Yep.
4, Force Awakens, for me, when that came out, I was like, it was everything I wanted it to be. And yes, it is maybe a soft reboot of the original Star Wars, but so what? I took it, and I thought the handling of it was perfect. I think JJ understands it. I loved it. Rogue One, oh my god, like you said, James, very dark, very. The tone is quite adult, really. Total downer ending. The end scene with Darth Vader is just one of the best scenes in any Star Wars film.
Totally.
It just kicks arse. Number 2, Empire, which, like you say as well, any one of these could flip. Could be my favourite one time. But Empire's got to be up there. Everybody, I think most people would say, Sloan, Empire's in their top 3, or maybe number 1. For me, A New Hope has always got to be number 1 because that was original, and that was the thing that kicked it all off. So for me, that's always number 1.
I think our list is fairly. It's not that dissimilar.
No, it's not.
Jody?
Looking at it, it's pretty similar. Yeah.